Production balance on all of these things is terrible. That's because we're building them like one a month, one a week. Our efficiency is not too great, especially as we have so many things we're trying to build with one factory on each. So, where are the biggest shortages? Transport helicopters, maybe. Support motorized artillery, those are all fine. Fliegerfaust, we are really short on those. Alright, Fliegerfaust it is. Cool. Hey, we have a transport helicopter. I think with the next payment we'll be below 50 billion debt. The cannons boomed, the cameras snapped, and the crowd cheered on the Ottawa tarmac as the royal family descended from the aircraft. As they got to the bottom of the stairs, they were greeted by the Prime Minister of Canada and the Governor-General, along with various other notables. As they walked towards the car, the PM asked the Queen, "How are you feeling, Your Majesty?" "Excited, to be quite honest," said the Queen. "It's peculiar. When I was in exile here, I found myself eager to get back to London by any method possible, and I was overjoyed when everything went how we hoped. But after a few months in London, I began to wish to see Canada again." Philip agreed. "Regardless, a royal visit by the Queen of England is quite an honour for us in Canada. I suppose it is, though I do say you must expect these royal visits to be far more regular from now on. The airplane has really lowered the barrier of travel time and expense for trips like these. And you may always feel free to visit the same nation that hosted you for so many years, Your Majesty." Who says you can't go home again? Very accurate Queen impression right there. Absolutely. I do my best. Imitation after all. They said they will return. Let's get the ties with the Pacific colonies done. While Australia and New Zealand officially broke off from the Empire, their ties to the OFN and our shared history and language keep us close in spirit, if not in geography. We should reach out to these former Commonwealth and current OFN members to help us rebuild the country and re-establish diplomatic ties with the rest of the world. Trade and relations increases quite dramatically. Should do a whole stream in that accent. I think it would wear thin a little quickly. Just doing the English event in that accent, I think's good enough. Alright, let's go and... oh no, it's none available. We could give another speech in Parliament to build up the Democrats, or we could send Stavas to America for the medium increase in domestic job output. Huzzah! And we'll give a speech. Why not? The Conservatives have basically no power compared to us now. However, the Socialists are quite a lot stronger in total. Like the Moon, thank you very much for the 8-month resubscription. Very much appreciate that. 8 months, and what a pleasure it has been. Alright, ties with the Pacific colonies is finished. Rescind our claims. We lose a claim on Ascension, lose a claim on St. Helena. As much as it might sting, we are no longer an empire on which the sun never sets. We must think more practically about our position in the world, and that means making small sacrifices for larger gains. The prestige of some of the small islands in the middle of the ocean is not worth the support of potential allies in the OFN. Renouncing on the claims on these islands will present us as a team player in a potential alliance, and as a country focused more on democratic ideals than regaining a lost empire. Totally accent. Totally accurate Queen accent. Thanks for that. Great clip. I do always have a laugh with those clips. I do watch them after the stream. So thank you for doing that. And keep it up. Right, let's promote some more competent officers. The death of Antonio de Oliveira Salazar. At 4:02 this morning, José Antonio Oliveira Salazar, one of the two caudillos of the Iberian Union and leader of the Portuguese territories within the country, has been pronounced deceased by medical professionals. With his death passes over 3 decades of Portuguese history. Reportedly, the caudillo died due to complications arising from a cerebral hemorrhage, of which he was under surgery to correct. The nation of Portugal is already in mourning for their leader, as is the former colleague, Francisco Franco. Until a new successor is chosen for his position, Franco is the sole ruler of the Iberian Union, and experts believe this would be a perfect opportunity for Franco to become the sole ruler of Iberia, if he dares to do so. Alright, battleship development is done, so we were going to get recon. Scout recon. Heffalopter scout recon. Which I think we're going to add to all branches, if we can. Congolese Republic defeated Azundeland. War is hell. Okay, we have rescinded our claims. They said they will return. Many Britons are understandably bitter about the withdrawal of American troops during the Second World War. However, with this withdrawal came a promise that one day freedom would return to England. Now that it has, we expect the Americans to keep it there. And there it is. Debt has now dropped below 50 billion. And we're well on the way for our GDP to exceed the debt, which will be good. Is there a hole in the middle of the Congo? Yes. It's where all the water from the Mediterranean was diverted to. Down the Nile. Oh, we do! Well spotted, yeah, we have the Welsh flag in the Union Jack. And we're now known as England and Wales. We're not just England. I did notice that in one of the events earlier. So the OFN bases... Okay, we are actually getting quite close to finishing this now. I'm going to be so annoyed if we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 focuses away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. OFN bases. Here we go. Our army is not in any state to fight off a counterattack by the Germans, should it come to that. We need more men, more equipment, more time to organise our troops. The OFN can provide all three if we give them the rights to station bases at strategic locations in England. While this technically violates our sovereignty, everything has a cost, and a few well-armed Yanks on English soil is worth never having to endure such calamities as we have. Seven focuses away from definitely winning the election. I'll show you why in a minute. Max factories, definitely want to increase that. So, a democratic England comes with a 7% surge in popularity for conservative democracy, which is more than enough to offset the socialists, Because right now they have more than 50% between them. Because remember, we're just these three. Slowly but surely gaining. We now have 5 of the 250 helicopters that our airborne SAS requires. Liberal victory in Canada. Led by Mr. Trudeau, the Canadian Liberal Party has won the federal elections. Oh, hey Trudeau. I'm guessing this is Trudeau's father. Despite the dangers predicted by many analysts, the party's careful strategy of both cooperating with America and defending Canadian interests has earned Canada a good reputation abroad and strong domestic economic progress. Succeeding Pearson as the party chief is the journalist from the Montreal, Pierre-Elliott Trudeau, known as a radical advocate of French-Canadian interests in his youth. Trudeau has, in his recent years, fashioned himself into a staunch defender of liberalism and a vision of a bilingual, multicultural Canada. Ignoring, as always, those who criticise him and his ideas, the new Prime Minister has ridden a wave of Trudeau mania into the 24 Sussex. Liberalism, the philosophy for our time. Okay, OFN base is done. OFN airfields. While our own RAF continues to grow, we shall require assistance from our allies to ensure the skies over England are friendly for the time being. Allowing the OFN nations, including the United States, to base advanced fighters and bombers here will buy us time to develop our own forces and ensure that we can ward off any attempts by the Germans to violate our airspace. No longer get the effects of military austerity. Now, this is production efficiency. And you know what? It actually barely cost us anything. It's like 50 million. We'll leave it. We're done with austerity. Okay, now we really aren't a conservative government. A conservative government's never done with austerity, apparently. Even when it really should be. 92.5%. NDL aren't the Tories. Yeah, they are. An English person's duty. The time has come. The candidates have been chosen for every party and every... No! It did. The fact that I went down those military decisions has possibly cost me this election. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The time has come. The candidates have been chosen for every party and every seat around the country. The parties have chosen the next Prime Ministers they hope will occupy 10 Downing Street. And now comes a short yet chaotic tradition of English Parliament, rare yet so consequential for the future of the nation. It's time for the elections. The National Democratic League, the Socialist Labour Party are the next two major political organisations in this election. The NDL, headed up by George Jellicoe and backed up by Claude Auchinleck, stands for the restoration of traditional pre-war England, but with the necessary reforms to keep it relevant to the modern age and to make it respected once again on the world stage. The SLP, headed up by Harold Wilson and endorsed by Bill Alexander, is taking a more radical approach. England will finally cast off the chains that held the workers down and move towards a more equitable future, free of poverty, and with the rest of the worldwide proletariat. There's also David Sterling's organisation, but many observers regard it as an extremist minor party. The choice will come down to Jellicoe's promises of past glory restored, or Wilson's promises of future glory to be claimed. So, chat, who should we represent? Bearing in mind that the election isn't done yet, I think that this gives us 80 days. Apparently, chat is saying we're going to be 20 days short, I think. Or actually, we might be a day short. Because I think we're 4 away. So whose interests are we going to represent? For Queen and Country. Or win the peace. And we're going to set this one as a good old-fashioned 2-minuter. So that you can make some proper decisions about which way we should go this time. Vote, vote, vote. Get your votes in. Vote, vote, vote. You were so in favour of boosting up taxes and now you don't want the socialists in. You guys are hilarious. Yes, raise taxes so we can do more social stuff, but don't do social stuff. Definitely don't do the social stuff. For England, James? No, for me. Just started a Scotland game and really liking the flavour of what they've got to do. We're nothing if inconsistent. Yeah, that's true. Oh no, it's reversed. Somebody is apparently being persuaded. Even though I think that Jellicoe has done a phenomenal job, and I would quite like to build the HMS Jellicoe, which would require a Jellicoe re-election, I believe. And we can finish what he set out to do. The socialists are buying the election. Well, you've given them enough money to do it. $2 billion a year surplus under a conservative government. What? So, vote, vote, vote. Get your votes in. Oh man, that was close. That was so close. 49% of you against 51% of you. With a difference of 4 votes. Demand a recount. Sir Ice Mage, thank you very much for the contribution of 50,000 channel points. So some of you with deep pockets definitely dug quite deeply into this. So which of them won? Well, For Queen and Country was one of the choices, and Win the Peace was the other. But Win the Peace did in fact lose, which means that we are sticking with Queen and Country and going pro-Jellicoe. For Queen and Country. Let's see if we have enough time to actually win this election. Because we are so close. Alright, with the free world. Does give us more political power, which we're going to need. Now, when is the election? 99 days. We have enough time. We can do this. Okay. It's fine. After gaining the favour of the OFN, we are now firmly cemented as one of the free nations of the world. Actually, hang on. 21 days. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 100 days. Might be a day short. Literally 1 day. After gaining the favour of the OFN, we are now firmly cemented as one of the free nations of the world. We have rebuilt our relationships with the former Commonwealth members and reaffirmed the old alliance with the United States. Uncle Sam and Britannia are arm in arm once more, and the light of democracy shall never fail on our island again. However, yeah, the actual election itself takes some time, so maybe. In the meantime, we need to start swaying the country because, my gosh, that's a lot of red. That is an awful lot of red. So the SLP is going for the West Midlands. The MSA is going for Sussex. MSA and Sussex isn't going to have that much of an impact. Cornwall's already ours. Southern Wales will be really difficult. East Anglia we could win. Except this is still blocking me. This hardly seems fair. This weird ass thing. Come on, go away. Let me pick something. Oh, please tell me this isn't bugged. It is. It keeps on reselecting the East Midlands. I didn't do that. Well, shoot. I think this game might actually be over. Because I would have gone East Anglia. We're not even winning the West Midlands. After all of this time just wasting my political power. Save and reload. I don't think that helps. We've saved and reloaded several times since that has happened. East Midlands isn't bad either. Yeah, but if it focuses everything on the East Midlands, look how many other areas we are losing. I can't change from East Midlands. That's the problem. So yeah, we'll probably win the East Midlands, and that's it. A great conspiracy. Strange rumours have arisen from the depths of Japanese-occupied China following the arrest of Nanjing-aligned General Sun Jian Ying. Rumours of a great conspiracy have spread like wildfire. A conspiracy involving the long-lost former leader of the Jiantong, Dai Li. The Chinese countryside is gripped with terror as Dai Li was famously noted for his brutality during the Chiang Kai-shek years. Tokyo, however, has refused to comment or acknowledge the Dai Li situation, calling it an imperialist misdirection of Pan-Asian harmony, or an anti-Nippon conspiracy. There are rumours, however, of the conspiracy being linked to the highest echelons of Japanese military intelligence, and only time will reveal whether this is true. We're not even close to winning East Midlands. This is such a bad thing.